Students, myself Dr. K. Shivaya, Department of Pharmacology, Shantiram College of Pharmacy. So, okay, today our topic is anti-diarrheal drugs. So, what is diarrhea? Increases the frequency of bowel movements or decrease in the form of stool. Nothing but greater looseness of stool. So changes in frequency of bowel movements and looseness of stools can vary independently of each other. Changes usually occurs in both. So you can get frequently. The too frequent passage of poorly formed stools. It is defined as three or more loose water stools in a 24 hours period. This is important here. Okay, so it is mainly loose water stools in a 24-hour period. So common causes of diarrhea, osmotic is lactase deficiency. Secretory means due to because of microorganisms, cholera, E. coli, and dearranged intestinal motility, that is thyrotoxicosis, altered mucosal morphology, viral infections. So because of this, gastroenteritis, allergic diarrhea, food allergy. So the food not digested properly, and you can get loose motions. So drug-induced diarrhea. Some drugs causes diarrhea, and carcinoid and medullary carcinoma of thyroid. So some say like thyroid. So thyroid, when it is cancer, undergoes cancer, also it causes the diarrhea. So some, especially in the medullary region of the thyroid, if you get the cancer there, so it is a possibility of the hormones imbalance that also causes the diarrhea. Major, this one, these two. Excuse me. So this is the types of diarrhea. If you take the types of diarrhea, Jullinger-Ellison, they can also say as a tremendous gastric secretions. So Jullinger-Ellison diarrhea, in this type of diarrhea, due to high secretions of gastric fluids, so it is the one of cause for the secretions. Automatically you can get the stools passage. That's we can call as Jullinger-Ellison. Next, due to cause of bacterial diarrhea. Due to cause of bacteria, you can get the bacterial. That's what we can call as bacterial diarrhea. First one is Jullinger-Ellison diarrhea. Second one is bacterial diarrhea. So these especially due to because of cholera, enterotoxin, and Escherichia coli, and staphylococcal, and Clostridial microorganisms. So because of these organisms causes the diarrhea. That's why these are all microorganisms. That's why bacteria, maximum these are all bacteria. That's why we call bacterial diarrhea. Next, osmotic diarrhea. You know what is the osmosis? So from low concentration to high concentration transfer of solid molecules through the semi-permeable membrane, we can call it as osmosis. So here what happened due to the, because of these osmosis, when it is created more, the accumulation of more water in the lumen the accumulation of more water in the lumen of the intestine. Because of this formation of diarrhea. That's why it is a osmotic diarrhea. Next, ileal dissection due to bile acids and stimulatic some bile acids if is excess secretion అయినప్పుడు bile acids excess secretion అయినప్పుడు కూడా so this is the diarrhea takes place. And inflammatory diarrhea, some inflammation takes place in the intestine, nothing but a small intestine, large intestine. When it is especially the large intestine, when the inflammation takes place, these diarrhea more chances. Okay, so when the inflamed, see, suppose if you taken, so this is a large intestine. Here, if it is inflamed in the area, if it is inflamed, what is happening? There is the food easily go through, easily pass. There is no absorption. Because of there it is inflammation. The cells are disturbed. So that is why the cells not absorb the whatever the water and whatever the nutrients. So it is automatically what happened, whatever you taken food item, it is easily passes away from your intestine. So that's one also we can call as inflammatory diarrhea. See, so diarrhea 24-hour stool is less than 300 grams. 24-hour stool is less than 250 grams of water. We can classify this like this. So diarrhea in the if you take history, it is in 21st century the second most common cause of morbidity and mortality worldwide. You know what is the meaning of morbidity and mortality? The number of patients going to die. Okay, so the World Health Organization estimation to the diarrheal disease results 2.5 million people die annually, mostly children. 1.6 million children less than 5 years old are going to die in developing countries, especially because of in developing countries, some developing countries on that moment also so much of infections is Escherichia coli and E. coli and other diseases causes. Majorly, what we can consider in society, either acute diarrhea or chronic diarrhea. So what is acute diarrhea? It is a sudden onset and loss less than 2 weeks. So 90% of infections in etiology, nothing but you know. So 10% caused by medications, toxins, injections and ischemia. So maximum ఇవి ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ అంటే మనము తినే ఫుడ్ ద్వారా కానీ దాని ద్వారా కానీ దీని ద్వారా కానీ జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ ఈజ్ అక్యూట్ డయేరియా, బట్ ఇట్ ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ 2 weeks. వచ్చే డయేరియా కూడా ఒక డైలీ 2 times కానీ 3 times కానీ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. బట్ అంత క్రానిక్గా ఉండదు, లూజ్ మోషన్స్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. బట్ 3 times కానీ 4 times కానీ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ దట్ మచ్ క్రానిక్. ఇఫ్ in the chronic diarrhea loss is greater than 3 weeks, the 3 weeks కంటే ఇంకా ఎక్కువ ఉన్నట్లయితే that's we can consider as chronic. So most of the causes are non-infectious IBS, AIDS, bacterial outgrowth of smell, and colon cancer and Crohn's disease. These are all causes for the in chronic diarrhea. It's important distinction between occurring chronic diarrhea is different diagnostic tests and different these are the tests. So what are the common cause of diarrhea? So what is mainly it is a dietary abuse. So the contaminated food if you taken, it is entered into the whatever the microorganism to cause the diarrhea, then it produces the diarrhea. So and food intolerance. If some patients not tolerate some food items. So if that person taken that food, he can get the diarrhea. So infection by bacteria, virus directly. So it is a direct infection. Some is some dietary abuse. కొంతమంది కొన్ని దాంట్లకి బాగా అబ్యూజ్ అయి ఉంటారు, అడక్ట్ అయి ఉంటారు. వాటి వల్ల వాళ్ళకి డయేరియా వస్తూ ఉంటుంది, కానీ వాళ్ళు మానుకోలేదు. And food contamination. Next is the infection by bacteria, virus, parasites. Either it is through the food or directly, or maybe injections, some other, maybe you taken medical or any. So infections and reaction to medicine. So some drugs to causes the diarrhea and intestinal diseases. Some, if you are already facing some problems, suppose inflammation in the intestine, ulceritis అంటాం. ulceritis కావచ్చు, colon bowel syndrome కావచ్చు, there's a colorectitis కావచ్చు, piles కావచ్చు. So whatever these diseases, infectious diseases to enhance the diarrhea. So was it causative pathogens, especially Campylobacter jejuni, Salmonella species, Shigella, Escherichia coli, Staphylococcus enterocolitis, Bacillus cereus, Clostridium perfringens, and Clostridium botulinum. So these are all the causes the diarrhea. So this is Escherichia coli diagram. This is a Salmonella typhimurium, and this is a Shigella bacteria. Maximum are bacteria only. And some virus, these rotavirus, norovirus, adenovirus, these are viruses. Maximum it is first it causes the respiratory problems, and also it causes the digestive problem, nothing but diarrhea. And some protozoa also causes the diarrhea, that is Entamoeba, Histolytica. Already you studied in intermediate this entire history and entire lifestyle. And Cryptosporidium and Giardia intestine, this one also you studied in intermediate. Those are BPC students. And Cystoosmoiasis. So these are all the protozoas to causes the diarrheas. So what does the diarrhea develop? అంటే డయేరియా వచ్చింది, అసలు ఏం జరుగుతుంది లోపల అంటే ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ సెక్రీషన్స్. మెయిన్లీ ఏం జరుగుతుంది, సెక్రీషన్స్ అనేవి ఎక్కువగా అవుతూ ఉంటాయి ఇంటెస్టైన్లోకి, అండ్ అబ్జార్ప్షన్ అనేది తక్కువగా జరుగుతుంది. దెన్ ఆటోమేటికలీ ద పేషెంట్ రన్ అవే టు ది బాత్రూమ్. సో what are the pathophysiology mechanisms leading to diarrhea? What is the main pathophysiology? So changes in active ion transport by either either decreased sodium absorption or increased chloride absorption. Changes in intestinal motility and increased luminal osmolarity, increase in the tissue hydrostatic pressure. So these are the mechanism of actions to causes the diarrhea. So if the changes in active ion transport, the decreased sodium absorption, the sodium absorption decreased. I said in diuretics already you studied. In diuretics, you studied the the physiology of the urine formation. When the sodium absorption takes place, water absorption takes place. The water always follows the sodium. The water follow the sodium. So when the sodium it is not absorbed, decreased absorbed, the water absorption also takes place. So అప్పుడు వాటర్ అబ్జార్ప్షన్ జరిగినప్పుడు వాటర్ కంటెంట్ అనేది స్టమక్లో అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. సో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ increases to the diarrhea chance. Next, changes in intestinal motility, especially more muscle contractions. If the more motility contractions, It's maybe some food items if you take in, or if you have some tension, because of this to increases the intestinal motility. Some drugs also increases the intestinal motility. Because of this increases the motility, then automatically diarrhea. Increases in luminal osmolarity. I said osmosis. So when the osmotic pressure created inside of the lumen of the intestine, then automatically the more accumulation of water, more accumulation of water. When the accumulation of water chances takes place, then automatically the diarrhea causes. Next, increased in tissue hydrostatic pressure. Increased in tissue hydrostatic pressure. When the hydrostatic pressure increases in the lumen of the GIT, increases the more water content in the GIT, it causes the diarrhea. So these are the pathophysiological mechanisms leading to diarrhea. Understood? So clinical diarrhea group, so secretory diarrhea, osmotic, so depending upon the clinical based, if the more secretion ayi diarrhea vachinadithu, then secretory diarrhea, osmotic dwara adi create ayinadithu osmotic diarrhea. Some exaggerated diarrhea ante some if you taken some other external uses, external evana తీసుకున్నప్పుడు then external ga ఏదన్నా నుంచి దాని diarrhea, altered intestinal transist. So these are the clinical diarrheal group. Clinical features. So stools here the loose, it contain, the stools contain loose stool and blood stain and offensive smell, and means statorium means nothing to floating, oily, difficulty to flush, like that it will be visible. And a sudden onset of bowel frequency, crampy abdominal, these are symptoms means like symptoms like, so crampy abdominal pain, urgency, fever, nausea and vomitings, loss of appetite and loss of weight. These are all the symptoms we can observe the diarrhea patient. So what is the complications? And దీంతో పాటు వేరే other సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్, వేరే ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఏమవుతాయి బాడీలో. సో ఈ డయేరియా అనేది రావడం వలన వేరే అదర్ ఏమైనా ఎఫెక్ట్ అంటే సపోజ్ డీహైడ్రేషన్ వస్తుంది. సో డయేరియా రావడం వల్ల మీకు ఏమవుతుంది, డీహైడ్రేషన్, ఎలక్ట్రోలైట్ డెఫిషియన్సీ వస్తుంది, హైపోవాల్మిక్ కండిషన్ వస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ ఇరిటేషన్ టు ఆనస్, shock. And shock and when you lose the electrolytes and water, then automatically volume of blood decreases. When the volume of blood decreases, the oxygen supply decreases. When the oxygen supply decreases, the cells not receiving enough oxygen, there is no ATP energy production, then automatically what happened, the patient getting the shock means shock. So whatever it is, wherever the tissue cells undergoes, wherever the tissue cells undergoes loss of oxygen, that tissue undergoes shock, and cardiovascular collapse and hypokalmia, metabolic acidosis, increases the acidic condition. These are the complications of diarrhea. Next, diagnosis. How we can diagnose this diarrhea? So suppose a physical examination by observing the physical signs and symptoms and stool culture. So if you done the stool culture, either it is causes the microorganism or not, we can test. So stool examination, microscopic for ova cyst parasite, either it is a microorganism or parasite, it is a viral, another one we can identify. And blood test, due of your medications, and they can ask the patient what type of medication are you taken in previous days. So so depending upon the drug also, because of the drugs also to induces the diarrhea, so that they you can also observe and ELISA test, they can identify the finally which one to causes the diarrhea. And treatment. So in this treatment, non-pharmacological management or diet, అంటే ఇక్కడ మనము డ్రగ్స్ కాకుండా మనం ఏం చేయొచ్చు, టు డిస్కంటిన్యూయింగ్ ది కన్సంప్షన్ ఆఫ్ సాలిడ్ ఫుడ్స్. సాలిడ్ ఫుడ్స్ అనేవి ఎక్కువ అంటే కొంచెం గట్టిగా ఉండే ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఆ ఫుడ్స్ తీసుకోకుండా డైరీ ప్రోడక్ట్స్ కూడా డిస్కంటిన్యూ చేయాలి. నెక్స్ట్, ఫ్రీక్వెంట్ ఫీడింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రూట్ డ్రింక్స్. బెటర్ టు టేక్ ఫ్రూట్ డ్రింక్స్ flat and carbonated beverages and soft and easily digested foods. Which one మనకి ఏవైతే కొంచెం ఈజీగా అబ్జార్బుల్ అవుతాయి అవి మాత్రమే తీసుకోవాలి. And rehydration, oral rehydration salts is very important. So with fluids containing sodium, potassium, chlorine and bicarbonate and citrate is preferred in most cases to intravenous fluids. So either no saline పెట్టుకున్న ప్రాబ్లం లేదు, during that time glucose పెట్టినా పెడతారు, but at the same time oral rehydration salts అనేవి తాగిస్తూ ఉంటే he can gain the water and the nutrients immediately. So fluids should be given at rates 50 to 200 ml per kg within 24 hours. ఈ రేట్లో మనము మినిమం అనేది పేషెంట్కి ఇస్తూ ఉండాలి. And intravenous fluids, lactate ringer solution are preferred acutely in patients with a severe dehydration. ఎవరైతే ఎక్కువగా డిహైడ్రేషన్ ఈ కింద పడుకున్న వాళ్ళు ఓరల్ రీహైడ్రేషన్ సాల్ట్ కూడా తాయికి కూడా they are unable. So that we can, the intravenous fluids we can give, especially we can prefer the ringer lactate solution. This is World Health Organization giving the ORS formula. Okay, so sodium chloride, potassium chloride, sodium citrate and glucose and water. Okay, this was same only ingredients. So then come to the pharmacological therapy, and here we can use this some drugs. So the drugs classification, loperamide and diphenoxy these comes under opiates. The classification, first classification is opiates. So the drug is loperamide, this is the dose, and diphenoxy with atropine and codeine and paregoric. So these are the drugs we can give to treat the diarrhea patients. Next, adsorbents also we can give, that is a kaolin pectin mixture. So that is the dose, and atapulgate also we can give 1200 to 1500 mg, and anti-secretory agents. So bismuth subsalicylate comes under the anti-secretory agents are bismuth subsalicylate. This is the dose. And in immunocompromised patients, so immunity vallo taggipoyina patients ko they can give the octreotide. First the initial give the 50 micrograms for subcutaneous they can give, then after that they increases the 600 micrograms per day in 2 to 4 dividing doses. So those are immunocompromised patients. So those patients have the less immunity power, because of when the diarrhea takes place, then the patient is very too weak. So during that condition, the patient is getting to the infection to the other microorganisms easily. When the patient weak immunity power, when the immunity power decreases, then automatically the attack of our environment has so many microorganisms, that microorganisms to attack to the person, and then automatically the patient getting the infected. So that we can treat the octreotide. Next, antimicrobial therapy. So that some already we discussed the diarrhea causes some microorganisms. So the drugs we can use the Zygella. So for that Zygella we can use these drugs as Cipro and Norfloxacin. This is trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole. This is cotrimoxazole. Already we studied I think you not studied, we can see next chapter. Next, salmonella. So for if you want to treat the salmonella, we can give the antimicrobial is quinolones and ceftriaxone. And if it is Vibrio cholera, we can use the doxycycline and tetracycline erythromycin. In case of, if you found that either Zygella microorganism or Salmonella microorganism, if you found in your stool, then we can give the respective treatment. Then E. coli, we can treat the ciprofloxacin and norfloxacin, and Clostridium difficile, we can treat the metronidazole drug, and vancomycin, if it is drug is cryptosporidium, and paramomycin, we can give the paramomycin drug as is an antimicrobial drug. We can give the isospora and trimethyl and sulfamethoxazole also we can give the cyclospora. So these are all the antimicrobial drugs that we can give it to treat the microorganisms. So by these microorganisms to kill that microorganism, then automatically the cause of diarrhea decreases if the patient getting to the normal. Next, one more is probiotic in diarrhea. It is one of the important topic in the diarrhea because of these probiotics to increases the immunity power. So organisms most commonly used as lactobacillus species and bifidobacterium and streptococcus faecalis and enterococcus species and yeast sequence bolsons, they are more efficacious for antibiotic associated diarrhea. So these మనం ఏం చేస్తుంటే ఈ probiotics are dead microorganisms. So these dead microorganisms మనము probiotics మనం ఇవ్వడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే our immunity power if it is increased and also it kill the more microorganisms. So మన యాంటీబాడీస్ ఆ మైక్రోఆర్గానిజమ్స్ మీద అంటే ఈ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద యాంటీ మైక్రోఆర్గానిజమ్స్ ఏవైతే కాజ్ అవుతున్నాయో ఆ కాజ్ ఆర్గానిజం అనేది చనిపోతాయి. సో దిస్ ద థింగ్. So what is the probiotics? See, what is the probiotics doing? So production of butyric acid. First butyric acid. So these butyric acid production వలన neutralization of dietary carcinogens. So ఏమవుతుంది న్యూట్రలైజ్ ఏవైతే కార్సినోజన్స్ కారణమవుతున్నాయో న్యూట్రలైజ్ అయితే ఇంక్రీజ్ ద టర్న్ ఓవర్ ఆఫ్ ఎంటరోసైట్స్. So probiotics are sometimes very useful in some other disease conditions also. And so the probiotics produces the toxic metabolite hydrogen peroxide. These hydrogen peroxide to kill the అంటే ఆ మైక్రోఆర్గానిజమ్స్ ఆ మైక్రోఆర్గానిజమ్స్ లో అంటే ప్రోబయాటిక్స్ అంటే ఆ బయాటిక్స్ అవి ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఆ ప్రోబయాటిక్స్ లో హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయడం వల్ల అదర్ మైక్రోఆర్గానిజమ్స్ చనిపోయే అవకాశం. నెక్స్ట్, ట్రిగ్గరింగ్ ది సైటోకైన్ సింథసిస్ ఫ్రమ్ ది ఎంటరోసైట్స్ బై అటాచింగ్ టు ది సర్ఫేస్. సైటోకైన్ సింథసిస్ ని ఇంక్రీజ్ చేస్తుంది. అండ్ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎక్స్క్లూజన్ ఆఫ్ ఎంటరిక్ ప్యాథోజన్స్ ఏం చేస్తాయి? సో కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎక్స్క్లూజన్ ఆఫ్ ఎంటరిక్ pathogens. So competition exclusion అవడంలో కాంపిటీషన్ pathogens తో కాంపిటీట్ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్, ఇన్హిబిట్ ది గ్రోత్ ఆఫ్ పొటెన్షియల్ pathogens బై ప్రొడ్యూసింగ్ ది లాక్టిక్ యాసిడ్ బ్యాక్టీరియోసిన్. సో మనకి ఏ ప్యాథోజన్ అయితే డయేరియా కారణమైందో దాన్ని ఇన్హిబిట్ చేస్తుంది. ఎలా గ్రోత్ని ఎలా ఇన్హిబిట్ చేస్తుంది? బై ప్రొడ్యూసింగ్ ది లాక్టిక్ యాసిడ్ బ్యాక్టీరియోసిన్ అండ్ ఆల్సో హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్. These are all to inhibit the growth of potential pathogens. Next, restore the normal intestinal flora. Restore the normal intestinal flora during the antibiotic therapy. So the minimum microorganisms present in the entire intestine. In entire small intestine and large intestine have the minimum microorganism. E. coli అనేది కంపల్సరీ ఉంటుంది. That's actually they are useful for our body. సో మనము ఇక్కడ ప్యాథోజన్ మనకి ఏదైతే ప్యాథోజన్ కారణంగా అది ఇన్హిబిట్ చేసేసి ఇది యొక్క నార్మల్ ఫ్లోరా అంటాం. ఇంటెస్టైన్ నార్మల్ ఫ్లోరా మనం ఏదైతే మన మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ కాబట్టి అవి నార్మల్ మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తాం. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దే ప్రొడ్యూసింగ్ సమ్ enzymes, producing some acids. Because of that, our food, whatever you take in food, it is digested normally and absorption normally. Okay, so these are the purported mechanisms of actions of antibiotics. So anti-motility agents and anti-secretory agents, so that is the loperamide drug. This is very important. The mechanism action is all the commonly used opioids. మనం ఏవైతే opioids drugs కింద తీసుకున్నామో లోపరమైడ్, అట్రోపిన్, తర్వాత some other drugs. So peripherally to act on the mu receptors. So opioids they bind to the opioid receptors. Opioid receptors and the mu kappa delta. So these receptors are preferred for over opioids that penetrate central nervous system more potent than morphine as an anti-diarrheal agent. So ఈ opioid drugs ఏం చేస్తాయంటే motility తగ్గిస్తాయి. So the opioid mu receptors are present in smooth muscles. It is present in smooth muscles. So when these low pyramid, when it is bind to the mu receptor, then automatically there is no contractions, there is no contraction, there is no motility. Then automatically what happen? The passage of food item will be decreases. So increases the small intestine and mouth to secum transit time. అంటే ఆ ట్రాన్సిస్ టైం అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. అంటే ఇప్పుడు స్లోగా వెళ్తుంటేనే ట్రాన్సిస్ టైం అనేది పెరుగుతుంది. నువ్వు ట్రావెల్ చేసినావు, టైం తగ్గిందా పెరిగిందా అనేది మాత్రమే చూస్తాం. సో ద ట్రాన్సిస్ టైమ్ ఈజ్ ఇంక్రీజెస్. So inhibition of presynaptic cholinergic nerves in the submucosal and matrix plexus, and also to inhibition these submucosal and especially cholinergic nerves. Cholinergic nerves. So in cholinergic nerves ni block చేయడం వలన, cholinergic nerves ni block చేయడం వలన there is no release of acetylcholine. Then acetylcholine it's not bind to the muscarinic receptors present in smooth muscles. ఇక్కడ ఇన్హిబిషన్ ఆఫ్ ప్రీ సైనాప్టిక్ కొలినర్జిక్ న్యూరల్ నర్వ్స్. మీకు ప్రీ సైనాప్టిక్ నర్వ్, పోస్ట్ సైనాప్టిక్ నర్వ్ చెప్పాను. సో ప్రీ సైనాప్టిక్ ఈ మ్యూ రిసెప్టార్స్ ని బ్లాక్ చేయడం వలన, ఇక్కడ సైనాప్టిక్ లో సైనాప్స్, ఇప్పుడు ఇది సైనాప్స్ అనుకుంటే ఇది ప్రీ సైనాప్టిక్ న్యూరాన్, దిస్ ఇస్ పోస్ట్ సైనాప్టిక్ న్యూరాన్. ఇక్కడ ఈ డ్రగ్, లో పిరమిడ్ డ్రగ్ వెళ్ళి బ్లాక్ చేయడం వలన అసిటైల్కోలిన్ అనేది రిలీజ్ అవుతుంది. తర్వాత పోస్ట్ కూడా అక్కడ కూడా అసిటైల్కోలిన్ రిలీజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎప్పుడైతే అసిటైల్కోలిన్ రిలీజ్ అవుతుందో, అసిటైల్కోలిన్ ఇస్ నాట్ బైండ్ టు ది మస్కరినిక్ రిసెప్టార్స్. ద స్మూత్ మజిల్స్ కంటైన్ ది మస్కరినిక్ రిసెప్టార్స్. So these the acetylcholine is not released, and so there is no contractions. Got it? And intestinal motility, mu receptors and intestinal secretions, and these are the intestinal limit is the mu receptors motility తగ్గిస్తాయి and secretions తగ్గిస్తాయి due to delta receptors. Glands లో delta receptors వచ్చే secretions తగ్గిస్తుంది and intestine decreases the intestinal absorption. This is the mechanism action of low pyramid. And pharmacokinetics, you know, absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. Well absorption, well distribution, metabolism in the liver, excreted through urine. Simple 4 points. So these are the increases the anal sphincter tone, anti-secretory activity against cholera axis, and some form of E. coli toxins. Half-life is 11 hours, and dose is 4 mg initially, followed by 2 mg after each subsequent stool, up to 16 mg for a day. Not recommended in children less than 2 years. And antimicrobial agents, diarrhea. The remaining mechanism actions of low pyramid and what are the opioid drugs is the same mechanism of action. Pharmacokinetics is a little bit different. That's why we have to write the simple absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. Antimicrobial agents. So these are the antimicrobial agents. They kill the microorganisms. Simple. Whatever I given the respective class of drugs, respective organism to kill. That's all. Nothing to discuss about that. Some guys, these are the fluoroquinolones, chloromethyl's already we discussed, and how they are mechanism of action we can discuss about next chapter in detail. Next chapter we have. This drug blocks the Ricardo-drill, so block the enzyme encephalinase and increases the local contractions of enkephalins in intestinal mucosa, which then stimulate mu and delta receptors, leads to anti-diarrheal effect. So these Ricardo-drill drug indirectly to activate the mu and delta receptors. This is the drug. And bismuth subsalicylate is a trivalent bismuth suspended in a mixture of magnesium aluminum silicate clay. Is a astringent and protective and absorbent effect. Is a absorbent diarrhea. it is comes on the adsorbent. So what happened? So it in stomachs combines with the HCl, bismuth, oxychloride plus acid. It can binds to toxins and produced by V. cholera and E. coli, depression of salicylic acid, prostaglandin and inhibition intestinal inflammation. Intestinal inflammation. Overall transistor time తగ్గిస్తుంది. The bismuth subsalicylate is to reduce the transistor time. And bile salts binding resins. So whatever these cholesterol and cholesterol, these are drugs, bile acids. So they increases the constipation. They increases the constipation. Anti-gittiga తయారు చేస్తాయి. So binding to the other drugs that causes the malabsorption, means there is no absorption. And pectin purified, the drug is pectin purified obtained from the citrus fruit, so forms a viscous colloid solution coat the intestinal surface. So these are all drugs to reduce the transit time of the food and also increases the solid material. So that's why it is a bile salts binding resins. And finally, anti-motility agents and anti-secretory agents. These are to reduce the motility, contraction of smooth muscles present in GIT. So especially anticholinergic drugs. Anticholinergics, that is, we can give the diphenhydramate, opioid agonist, and both combined with to this atropine, anticholinergic drug. Already you studied atropine and constitution. So other opioids which is so anti-motility drugs, anti-secretory drugs, even atropine వచ్చు, anticholinergic drugs వచ్చు. Okay, anticholinergic drugs అంటే ఏంటి, atropine ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఆల్రెడీ యూ స్టడీడ్ ఇన్ pharmacology 1, I think so. So anticholinergics we can give. So hyoscyamine, dicyclamine, the anticholinergic drugs, sulfur to adrenergic receptor agonist, clonidine. See here the alpha 2 is a which type of receptor? Alpha 2 is a which type of receptor? గుర్తుకొచ్చిందా లేదా? So the clonidine to agonist act as a facilitate the absorption, inhibits the secretion of fluids and electrolytes, increases the international transistor time. So these are the recording as per the anticholinergics. So there we have to write the mechanism of action and G protein coupled receptor. నేను ఇక్కడ G protein coupled receptor నేను మళ్ళీ డయాగ్రామ్ వేసి నేను మళ్ళీ ఇవన్నీ చెప్పలేను. ఆల్రెడీ ఆ క్లాస్ మేము చెప్పేసాము ఇన్ ఫార్మకాలజీ 1, ఇన్ ఫార్మకాలజీ 2. So here whatever the drug it came, where which it's bind to the which type of receptor find చేసి మీరు రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. That's all. Next, octreotide somatostatin analog. This drug is somatostatin analog. So it is to slow the GI motility because of inhibits secretion of gastrin, cholecystokinin, glucagon with the hormone insulin 5-HT. So ఈ octreotide drug ఏం చేస్తుందంటే inhibit the secretion of gastrin. Hormone is a hormone. And this gastrin, last class I already we studied gastrin hormone in anti-ulcer. And cholecystokin also we can study it. And glucagon, it is released from the pancreas. And growth hormones, these are all inhibited. When these are all inhibited, there is no what is happening, the secretions decreases. When the secretions decreases, the solid material formation increases. So there is no GI motility and contractions. There is no smooth muscle contractions. These are the regarding drug. So same. So role of pharmacist, we have to, what the pharmacist we have to take, avoid dehydration జరపకుండా చూసుకోవాలి, good hygienic గా ఉండాలి, do not prepare food for the other people, okay, especially babies and old people. While you have acute diarrhea, వాళ్ళ కోసం నువ్వు సపరేట్గా తీసుకోవాలి. ఈ better to take more carbohydrate diet అనేది తీసుకోవాలి. If the diarrhea does not resolve after a few days, seek medical advice. So good nutrition and a good hygienic and can prevent the most diarrhea. అంటే మంచి హైజీనిక్ ఫుడ్, మంచి హైజీనిక్ కండిషన్ మెయింటైన్ చేసినట్లయితే, మంచి హైజీనిక్ ఫుడ్ తీసుకున్నట్లయితే డయేరియాని మనం ఈజీగా రిమూవ్ చేయవచ్చు. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Okay, my students, these are the questions regarding about topic define diarrhea. Which microorganisms causes diarrhea? Right, any two mechanisms to develop diarrhea. Right, opioids to treat diarrhea. Which are the opioids? And write anti-secretory agents in diarrhea. Classification of anti-diarrheal drugs. Here we have to write the classification. Entire classification we have to write. It is very, very important. And ORS, what is ORS and its composition, what it is as per the World Health Organization. Write antimicrobial drugs for diarrhea, role of pharmacist in diarrhea condition, and write mechanism action of loperamide. So write it in one page and submit to my WhatsApp number. Thank you.